Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tales from the Closet. Woo! It's January. This is a podcast and a vodcast. If you're listening to this in its audio form, know that there is also a video component where you could join us here in this very bright dungeon. You would think it would be a lot darker, but it's not. It's almost too bright. It's like going to heaven and finding out God is into BDSM. If you're if you're watching this on Dropout, thank you for subscribing. If you are not a Dropout user, you're probably watching this on CH2. Know that when these first come out, they will be released on Dropout first, and then later on CH2. But enough about me and what I chose to say at the top of this show. Let's move on to our guests. I'm super excited today. We have 3 people that I love, 3 people that I know, and 3 people that you're gonna know in just a second, because we will be playing 2 Truths and a Lie rapid fire. Hello everyone, introduce yourself and tell me 2 truths and a lie, and the next person will have to guess your lie. Begin now.
I'm Daryl Jim.
Oh!
I survived a car accident.
Wow.
I love tennis.
Ooh.
And
I'm thinking of a lie.
and I have binge watched Riverdale season 1 and 2 in a day and a half.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Jess, you're up. What was the lie?
What was the middle one?
Oh, I love tennis.
I don't think that you love tennis.
Okay, fair.
No, answer.
Right. No, I do love tennis. I do love tennis.
Was it the Riverdale one that you paused for?
No.
It was a car accident one.
Yeah.
You Trojan horse the most dramatic one in.
You came in hot.
And I did it first because I feel like usually the first one seems like a truth all the time.
It's true.
That
it
is
always
true.
does. You said it so confidently that I was like, and I'm so sorry. Like, my condolences.
No,
That was
thank
about
you.
to be my strategy, and now you just stole it.
Wow, scramble those up, Jess. Who are you?
I'm Jess. I love watching Shark Tank. I love watching The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And I love cooking. And I'm a great liar. There's 4.
I'm gonna say it's Mavel
That was a lie.
because that show's called Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
I knew I was going to beat it.
You're correct.
I thought you would think I would
win.
like it.
No.
All right, who are you? 2 truths and a lie, and I get to guess, and you're in for it because I know you very well.
All right. My name's Emily Fightmaster. I identify as femme. I collect knives, and every single one of these is true.
Great. Let me guess. They were all lies.
All of them were lies.
They were all lies.
It was a rapid fire round. I panicked.
Yeah, good. That's what I like. I like the rapid fireness.
Why
of
is
it.
that game so anxiety inducing?
I don't know, but I feel
hard to
in
lie.
power. I feel like a dom. My name is Allie Beardsley. I will also play. I have a twin brother. I am allergic to peas, and I once got arrested for public urination.
I don't believe
You're
you're
up.
allergic to peas.
I don't believe you're allergic to peas either.
I
The
don't
first 2 were lies. I actually messed up. I forgot. I got so panicky of where I was putting my lie. I just started lying on all of them.
It's
Dude,
that
now I
rapid
feel like
fire.
the dom.
The first lie was good, though.
Excuse me?
The first lie was good.
Thank you.
'Cause I was
You
about to say, yeah, and I met your brother.
Yeah, we do look exactly alike. Hi, Brad. All right, great. Everybody, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. The show is called Tales from the Closet because we are going to be sharing tales from our closet. There are a lot of different closets out there. Maybe you're in a gender closet. Maybe you're in a sexual closet. Maybe you're in a physical closet and you have internet access. And instead of calling the police, you decided to download this podcast. In which case, I'm sorry, and I hope you get help. Have I gone off the rails? Great. Who are your guys' captors? No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally joking. All right. Anyway, this is a show. It's loose, honey. You guys, let's go around and tell a story about a time when you were like, wow, I might be queer, or wow, my gender might be something else, or it could be anything.
I was in 2nd grade,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw a really cute boy playing on a dirt hill, and I was like, that boy's really cute. And I said, I'm not supposed to think that.
Oh.
And then I thought it for the rest of my life, still thinking it.
That one boy on the dirt hill.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he was cuter at 2nd grade. He's all right now.
Really? Wait, so did you come out early? Or
I
did
came
you-
out very early.
Wow.
I came out at, well, not very early. I came out at 14.
Wow.
Oh, that's amazing. I
think
hate
that's
using
pretty-
words like early and late because there is no timeline.
Right.
But that is, I'm like, wow, 14, that's amazing.
Yeah, my time in the closet wasn't that long.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm definitely thinking of those closet moments.
Yeah. You're like, I guess I was 9. I don't know. What the fuck have you people done? I'm like, I was 20 and
Were your parents cool with it at 14?
No.
oh,
No.
interesting.
No. I mean, it wasn't like a bad big blow up. It was more so like just like it's a phase.
Yeah.
You're going through
Ooh.
a phase, and then the next day it was hey, we're Catholic, so
Ooh.
just go to church. It was Sunday that next day.
Oh, great.
You got
It's a phase that needs to be done in a day.
Yeah.
Because we got to drive to church.
and there's like, you're going to Sunday school, just you're young, you're still going through it. And I was like, I'm not, but okay.
Wow. And when did you finally feel like they were like, okay, yeah, it's not a phase?
I think when I finished college.
Wow.
We never talked about it.
Totally.
In college, I told my dad first, which is very interesting because I'm closer with my mom.
Oh,
But my mom's
whoa.
more religious, so I kind of thought like I can't tell her. And then I told my mom in college, and my mom was really sweet about it. She was just kind of like, I'm gonna love you no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
I would love if you were with a girl, but
Yeah.
and like we still, it's good. I have a good relationship with them.
That's
I would say.
great.
Yeah.
That is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom's super religious too, and I had a similar thing where I was like, oh gosh, like you are not gonna like this. And
Yeah.
now we're totally close, and she's met like all my partners.
Do you
and-
talk about it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So it took a while, but yeah, it's so crazy when they're so religious and you're like, okay, I'm really gonna bring your world down. Here we go. Like,
I mean, and that was the biggest thing for me too. Like in the closet since I was a kid and a teenager, it was like, I'm religious. This is so not right in my brain. How am I?
Oh, you
how can-
yourself were religious
Yeah.
as well? Yeah, same, me
I was
too.
like, but in my brain, I was like, God loves me for who I am, and I'm a good person. So it's like, I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. So that's kind of what kept me, like, my faith was like,
Oh.
I'm a good person. So I'm going to believe that God loves me for who I am.
oh, that is
Yeah.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
The first time I realized my friend Jill was over my house and we were playing in my pool and we had this inner tube and we both like went in the middle and she was like, we should practice kissing. And I was like, okay. And then we did it and I was like, oh, we should keep practicing. It was just so great. I still think about like that little smooch all the time. And then I think she was like, all right, let's go do something else. And I was like, okay.
You're like, funny because I can't think of anything
Yeah,
else I'd
yeah.
rather do than that.
More important than training.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get on this.
I thought you were committed to your craft.
Do you want a husband or not?
I had another friend, Lacey. We would play in her trailer, Doctor,
Oh, yeah.
like in the back of the trailer. I think that she was also too. So that went like slightly further, I think, of like flirty, never like touching or anything, but maybe like kissing or this and that.
Yeah.
But I knew that I was attracted to men too, and I didn't see examples of bisexuals anywhere. So I was kind of like, well, maybe it's just like this weird thing that I'm close to friends, so I like doing that with friends, or I didn't quite know how to define it or what it was all the time.
Totally.
So I never really did anything with it or about it. Like I had urges, but I was like, well, you know, and I was also like just overweight and feeling shit about myself for most of my childhood too. So I was like, well, nobody wants to fuck me. So why come out and say anything? I don't want to bother anybody.
Who was your bisexual, like, you're like the bisexual icon that you remember?
Bisexual icon? I mean, I loved like Bowie. I loved like androgynous people. And just like kind of very heightened people. Like I loved Fran Drescher. I know she's not bi, but I just thought like, oh, she's so great. And I liked anyone who was very much who they were unapologetically. And that was what I wanted to be more. I remember that I like Minnie came out to my best friend Mel in college, and I was like, I think I might be bi, and she couldn't have been better about it. She was like, oh, that's totally cool. Like, and then like the next day I was like, I was just kidding, that was just like a joke, like it wasn't anything.
You got so you had like regret the next day.
It really wasn't until I was with my now fiance that I officially like came out to my family, and so this is like 4 years ago.
Yeah, we talk about that on the last episode too, like bi invisibility, because it's just so like there aren't really prominent bisexual people, and there is such a stigma with being bisexual, like you're like greedy or like you're confused or it's a phase, and you're like, no, absolutely not. This is like a fully functioning sexuality.
We're getting more of them though. We got Janelle Monáe.
Oh yeah, true.
I mean, now I have like a ton of icons that I feel like I can look up to. But at the time, there was really
like
nobody.
Growing up, we just had like kind of like stunt bisexuals that were all female identified, that were like, and then I kissed a girl at the VMAs. And I'm like, well, that's not what I want. Like,
I mean, that's what it felt like. It was like hypersexualized woman kind of doing it for the purpose of like a man seeing it. And I was like, well, I don't feel like I'm quite that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it was just when I got older and felt like more comfortable about myself in general, like across the board, that I was able to be like, no, this is like really a feeling that I'm having, and something that, you know, especially when I found Kate, like I want to pursue, and I'm in love, and I like can't help it. Yeah.
Cute.
So that's
and now you're engaged.
And now I'm engaged.
And you're so happy.
I am, yeah.
I noticed that you didn't clap. Was that because
problem with my engagement?
Support
my
that
hands are like under.
engagement?
I don't know if I'm cold today.
Biphobia.
Just biphobia.
Oh,
Here we
no.
are.
Wow.
No, I'm totally
In our well-lit dungeon of all places.
About to ruin your fucking life.
It's
two
still
quiet little pat claps. No, I'm totally joking. All right, Emily.
Well, I had always had like moments when I was a kid of just like watching movies and being like, I don't want to be the lead actress. I want to be the lead guy because he gets to be with that actress.
Mm-hmm.
But at the specific moment of like really like sexually acting on it, I was on this AAU basketball team, and it was all of these just like corn-fed Ohio bitches. and they were like, AAU basketball in Ohio, women's basketball is just like so competitive, and people are so intense, and they're so good. And I was just like skinny and bad, and they were all strong and muscular, and they wore these compression shorts that they weren't like volleyball, they weren't like femme compression shorts, they like went down to here. And I remember the point guard on our team was like, I would just watch her thighs and the way that like the shorts, when she would like get down to guard, she would pull her shorts up, and you would just see these like white compression shorts, and just my brain was on fire, and I kept trying to be like, maybe I'm really attracted to her talent. And then of course like we end up doing the very Ohio closeted thing of becoming best friends. And over the course of truly, it could have been 6 months of just like every time she would sleep over at my house, it'd be like a pinky on her thigh one night. And then like the next weekend, it would be like a hand on her thigh. And then the next weekend, it would move up. And we were both so nervous that we would like, we would get up to go to the bathroom because we were getting so aroused and wanted to hide it just in case the hand moved any further. Like it was just, yes, like just so fucking
Did you ever talk
soaked.
about it? Was it like I mean, probably not, right? It
No.
sounds like
No, because
full
that's-
silence.
Yes.
Like a silent movie.
That is so
100%.
hot. I love that part of like the courtship where you're like, oh, are we gonna? It's
That's
the
why-
most
Yes.
like. Ugh.
That's queer culture to
Yeah.
me is a very, very slow progression towards sex. And that's like you watching a movie like Carol when they touch like maybe like in the first hour of that movie they touch maybe 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And watching that, I was like, this is almost the most like respectful to my experience of any queer movie I've ever watched.
Absolutely. And when you ask, I have a lot of straight friends who are like, God, Carol was so boring. And I'm just
off.
like, pull a knife on them.
Go
'Cause I'm
watch
like,
the Titanic.
like, oh my God. Oh, yeah. Every little look, you're like, yes. That is my experience.
Yeah, I mean, even you know that you're fucking gay when you're watching Carol and she just leaves 2 leather gloves on the counter and you're like,
Here we go.
her hand was in that glove.
I have a memory because I went to like a really conservative Christian university and studied theology, was like on track. I wanted to be like a youth pastor, and I still think religion is like really beautiful, but I don't necessarily like go to a church right now. But at the time, incredibly religious, and I would keep a log of when I felt gay, like by the date, to track it, because I thought maybe it was like
Something you ate?
something I ate, or like when I'm on my period, I'm fucking gay, and it must be that. You know, it was just like, I have to get more info about this before I make a big decision. I was
We gotta crack this code.
yeah, exactly. It was like data collecting. And on one of the like days, I like had a long streak of like no gay feelings because I was busy. I was like too busy to like
Sometimes you're
notice.
just too busy to be gay.
And all of a sudden, like, I got like hit hard with one. I like spent the whole day with like this RA who was like in a tie-dye shirt, like fully like my type at that time. And I was just like, oh no, I'm like fully in love with Kelsey. And so I had to like put an X on that one, and I was so bummed. And we had this like huge church like altar call event and like a whole sermon and stuff, and I went up to the front and I was like crying, and I was like, oh fuck, like I am gay, like please don't do this to me, like talking to God. And then Kelsey came up behind me and started like rubbing my back because like she thought I was praying about, she couldn't have known what I was praying about. So she starts like massaging, like running her hands down my arms and whispering a prayer in my ear. And she was like, dear God, whatever Allie's dealing with right now, I hope that you're with Allie. And I was just like, what? It was like the most I had ever been touched by
My
a
body
woman.
is so warm right now.
If I believed in God, I would think that was a sign from God.
It was. That's a
That's
beautiful way to
He
put it.
accepts you.
I see what you did there.
I love that.
Yeah, no, I really did. I was like, God has a sense of humor, and it's fine. Everything's gonna be fine. I need to.
I'll do it. God has a sense of college humor.
Oh boy.
What's that? M, you're dissociating. But yeah, that is my deep closet hookup.
Can you imagine like how horrific it would be to be straight and you just like have sex immediately?
Yeah. What a nightmare.
What a nightmare.
Can you imagine seeing someone on the street, knowing already that they could be into you, going on a date and having sex immediately? Like,
And never
there's
worrying
no,
about
like,
them beating you up.
Oh my God. I just.
Boring.
There, I'm sorry if anyone out there is straight. I'm sorry to bring that up.
There's a number you can call right at the bottom of this.
It's the suicide hotline. Yeah. Great. Well, we are going to move into a part of each show. We have a very scary word. And I hope you guys are ready. Okay. You can tell we have a horror motif going on, a lot of chains, and then one antique lamp.
I love that.
2. Oh my.
There's a skull.
Great. Word, please. I can almost reach it. Thank you, Paul. Everyone give it up for Paul. This time you clapped.
Wow, I'm never gonna win. I'm never gonna win.
kidding. All right. Our very scary word of the day today is, and I just want you to say the first thing that comes to your mind with this. Stories, thoughts, ratings, 2 truths, 1 lie. Makeover.
That
Excuse me.
scared me.
Excuse me.
Was that your fart?
Sorry.
Your fart sounded like a
Emily did fart.
I ate veggie sushi like right before I came.
Veggie sushi.
Yeah, it sucked fucking nuts.
That's
so
like
bad.
everything good about sushi gone.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and it was.
When I
it was
think
brown
sushi, I
rice.
think veggies.
It's from Gelson's.
Did you watch VeggieTales?
I think it scared me.
Oh my god.
It scared me, so I was like I don't understand what's going on. They're vegetables.
There's a tomato on
They
the
look
run.
like clay. It was.
It was Bible stories. They just acted out the Bible stories.
That's
I didn't even know that.
What do you mean they look like clay?
Didn't they look like clay?
They
It
were.
was computer animated.
computer
wasn't
animated.
It was really poorly computer.
yeah, it was
animated, too.
true clip art.
Was it like 2D? Was it like a 2D thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yes. It
I'll
looked-
show you after.
Veggie. I might be thinking of something else.
Oh, maybe.
I'm thinking of like a cucumber
And a
you're-
tomato?
Is it porn?
as cucumber.
I think it scared
Send me your cucumbers, please.
There was just so much dick and so many vegetables.
I might be thinking of something else. Maybe. Well, nonetheless, I'm still scared.
Yeah, I'm still scared at the idea of tomato and a cucumber acting out Bible stories. It is scary.
It's weird. Why?
It is weird.
That's
I don't
weird.
know. Makeovers make me think of there would be a time at almost every sleepover I ever went to, because I was very tomboy, and everyone at the sleepover would be like, wouldn't it be funny if we did your makeup? And the first time I was like, no, like horrified. But then I learned that meant a sleepover's worth of women would be touching my face with tiny soft brushes. And that feels amazing.
Yeah.
And that amount of attention I have not received since. I have been chasing that high.
Make a Facebook event.
You're right. For my birthday.
Come brush my
Everyone
face.
come to Ye Rustic Inn and touch my face with a brush.
Yeah,
I
you
might
can
do
make
it.
it happen.
Honestly, maybe I will. But I always looked fucking insane afterwards, but I felt
Like
great.
insanely hot.
Truly, yeah, I looked insanely
Like,
hot.
look what a little bit of
I
work
looked
can
like
do.
a porcelain doll, like about to go to a bachelorette party. That's how I look with
When
makeup.
I think of like your face, I just can imagine how good you would look with like a strong blush and a solid black eye.
Thank you. A solid black eye. Wow, makeup terms. I forgot that you do HMU.
I do a lot of actually really good makeup, so if anyone's interested, they can call this number again.
Makeup or makeover. What does that make you guys think of?
I think I did makeovers with myself in my head. I would be like, you know what? I'm gonna go hang out with guys and be more of a guy and try to do that. Or I remember multiple times when I was a teenager, or maybe before I was a teenager, I would take a shower. I would like pray to be straight, and be like,
Oh, man.
I want to be straight. I don't want to deal with this. And then I would take a hot shower, and then I'd come out, and steam would come off of my body, and I'd be like, I think I'm straight. I gotta go hang out. I gotta go hang out with guys.
No.
It was me trying to make over myself to be more manly. And honestly, I think I was a lot more feminine when I was a kid, and like had a chipmunk voice. And then like I kind of like trained myself to be more of a bro.
No,
It's kind of-
totally.
Yeah, I think that's so common.
I think
Yeah.
it's really interesting. A lot of, because my brother's also gay, and we were talking about like gay male culture. The aesthetic of like gay men is so jock that I'm like, are you just becoming the people that like made fun of you growing
yeah,
up?
so
Are
much
you like
self-hatred.
chasing-
Like people
Yeah.
told you it was so wrong for so
and you
long
were
that it's
"Now
like
I'm
you
gonna
can't
look
have
exactly
that.
like you. It's
Yeah.
like, what is going on?
It's those guys that are also like, I hate the pride parade. Like, we don't need to be so loud about it.
yeah, fully. Yeah. You're like,
Okay. Or like, no twinks. It's like, get over yourself.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're all a
mask
bunch of
only.
homophobes.
Like,
Yeah.
ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually had cousins who we had a sleepover, and they put me in a bikini, and that was
Did
that
you
was
love it?
funny and fun, and it was
That
like
was funny.
yeah, well, just because it was so crazy to me that like I was able to do it with people
Oh yeah.
or like my cousins, and I like pretended I was Sailor Moon when I was like by myself at home before, but like having my cousins at the sleepover, I was like I kind of felt accepted before I even came out, which was so
Yeah.
interesting.
Did you, when you watched Sailor Moon, did you identify as Sailor Moon?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's so. It was crazy to grow up with, because my brother's gay, as I've already said. We would be watching the same movie and like fully identifying with like
Different.
the opposite gender. I would watch movies and fully would never be like, and I'm the woman. I was
No,
like,
I've
and
never.
I would be perfect for that woman.
You were
Yeah,
Tuxedo Mask.
Yeah, I wore tuxedo. I'm absolutely tuxedo mask guy in Sailor Moon.
I wore my mom's pantyhose and just pretended I had a
Yeah. My brother would pull a shirt off his head but leave it here so that it would look like long hair.
Mhm.
So if you want to use that.
It's
Let
never
me
too
get
late.
Notes down, please. Cucumbers and that.
Yeah. You guys, makeover.
Makeover makes me think of, I was kind of talking about it earlier, but just how much of my sexuality was also about the way that I looked. And I think maybe eating a lot as a kid, almost to kind of push just everybody away, like maybe not quite understanding who I was or what was going on. So it was just so much more comforting and an easy fix to like eat really quick and then
Totally.
be like, oh, well, no one will be interested in me now. So it's not even something that I have to deal with. And I think later in life, when I did lose, weight and was starting to feel better about myself, was the time when I felt like I could come out. But looking back on it now, I do feel kind of sad that so much of it was tied up in that at all. Like I should be any size, which I feel much more this way now, to be any size and just be as sexual and deserving of sex.
Yeah, totally.
And I think, in particular for women and our looks, it was like I just wasn't hitting anything that was the typical thing out there. So I felt like I just had no idea what I was or what was going on.
Totally, yeah. I think, especially in America, we're so fucked up with food. No one talks about it. No one teaches you like what eating is, and especially being religious. I know it was like drugs bad, sex bad, food fine. Like we had like youth group meetings at Taco Bell, and it was like, wow, you really didn't teach me like how to take care of myself in that way. And that was something I totally learned after coming out. And I was like, wow, that's where my depression went. I had a similar thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would always get made over by my mother or my mother's friends. And it was always just like we're going to go out to dinner and you can't wear your basketball jersey. I'd be like, well, fine, then provide something. And so then it would be like me in like a very long, soft sweater, where it's like, and a sweater that like it like draped over one shoulder. You know what I'm talking about? Like it wasn't like fucking Fred Perry
This sounds
or
like
something.
a honeymoon sweater.
A honeymoon if you were like about to die. They would also do things like I was so fucking ugly in high school. I was just like so rotten ugly.
No.
It was unbelievable.
I've seen photos. You look great.
That is so kind, but I had terrible, like wretched acne, and my mom's friend. I was always better friends with my friends' moms than them because that I loved like older bossy women. And I remember one time Sarah was my friend at the time and was like, my mom brought you a gift to school. And it was like basically like a dermatology kit because she was a dermatologist. And so I like got this shit. It was like Retin-A. And for teenage skin, you have to be really careful with Retin-A because it just peels off the top layer of your skin. Ooh. So like it tends to be better for like 40-year-old women, and they do it like once every 3 days. And I did this Retin-A and did it like 3 days in a row. And just like put it everywhere. And I was in 8th grade because we had to I had a science class in the high school, in the high school building. It was, it was in the basement of the high school. And so I had to walk over from middle school, and I had woken up that morning And in an effort to get rid of my acne, I had like 3rd-degree burn.
No.
My entire face. Like, I'm talking like, it wasn't little flecks of like dried skin. It was like baseball size, like they are blowing in the wind, like off of my face. And you can't fucking do anything about it because the skin just keeps getting rid of it.
What was this dermatologist thinking?
Well,
Like,
she had just been like, she will figure it out. Like, Emily will read the instructions surely. And I was like, a quick fix for acne? Like, and so those are always like the makeovers that I remember. It's older women being like, trust me, you are going to be beautiful.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Did you guys ever get a mall makeover, like at the mall? Where they
I've
do
had
your
those,
makeup
yeah.
there and then you kind of have to like buy everything they touched you with?
No, I've kind of always wanted to. You mean like when you're sitting at like the counter at Macy's or something? I have always wanted to do that.
But you've never done it?
No.
Don't do it.
It's not fun,
It's
but it's
not
like my
fun.
mom's favorite thing to do. If I'm home, we'll go and then someone does my makeup. My mom's like, this is great. And I'm like, this isn't me.
Is it free?
It's totally free.
And you don't have to buy the.
You don't, but like
You
they
feel
do.
bad.
They are just kind of like, and so what I'm using now is this, and it does this, and then they kind of like put it in your bag.
And then they whisper things like, I work on commission.
I do work on commission,
Yeah.
and I do have 5 children.
I think-
and it's all their birthdays today.
I think women used to go to get it for events and be like, oh, I don't care. And now they'll just do half of your face.
What?
That way you can't walk out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I missed the opportunity to get like,
Wow.
because deep down inside, I want like a really crazy Kim Kardashian like contour.
Oh
just
my
one
God,
day. I just want
yeah.
to see what it would look like.
And now they only do half.
Now they'd only do half.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
just went to Bare
God.
Minerals to get some new shit, and they only did half my face.
That's
You
crazy.
cheap
That
motherfuckers!
is
I'm gonna buy some shit.
the face of late capitalism. Is a half contour, like a harsh contour in someone's face, and them
Just
leaving
strutting
the
down
store
the
like
mall,
that.
you don't give a shit. Hey, I'm at the mall. No one else is here.
All right, great. Well, this is my absolute favorite part of the whole show. If the whole show was just this, I would be very happy. But instead, no, I'm totally joking. We have a survey online. We constantly post it. Please respond. If you have any questions, people can ask all of us questions anonymously. And God, would I have appreciated this in my teens. Any question at all. So I'll just rattle off some of these and we can all answer them together and get your guys' like read on these. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Paul, once again, Paul. All right, great. Yeah, let's see. We have a few of these. Oh, baby.
Oh.
All right. You ready?
Ready.
These are fucking beautiful.
Should we hold hands while with it?
Yeah.
I'll hold hands.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
For those who
right.
are listening,
Yeah.
a funny bit happened.
Oh, yeah.
So subscribe to Dropout to see it.
Do you want to know when the claw came into play? Subscribe to Dropout now. All right, first question. I broke up with my ex-boyfriend because I discovered I was a lesbian, but I didn't tell him that was why. My old friends in quotes, outed me and told him, and now he's upset, accusing me of using him and of never loving him. Should I reach out and try to make things right, or just leave it and hope he understands someday?
He sounds like a toxic motherfucker. You can't blame him for being hurt, right? You can't like blame him for that. But also being like, you're using me. Like, no, you have whatever. Like, even as a lesbian dating a man, like I have like been on dates or dated guys where I have had such positive feelings towards them and absolutely was not using them at all. And then you get to this point in the road where you're like, man, I have so much love for you, but it's not the exact type of love that I need, that is specific to me.
Totally.
And anyone that can't understand that either is lacking in maturity, so you have to give them time, or is just a person that you can't have in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this happened with Kate's ex. which he was a really toxic, disgusting dude to begin with. I hope you're watching.
Oh yeah, Jess.
Yeah, I mean, when he heard, he was like, "Oh, yeah, you used me. She's ugly, like all this kind of." And it really
fucker.
is just your own anger, your own. You have lost control. You don't have control of this person and their feelings, and your feelings are hurt, and you're acting out. I think only you know your relationship with this person. If you had a good relationship, I think it would be worth it to at least try, to contact them once and just say, here's where I'm coming from. I'm sorry you had to find out this way, or maybe you're not even sorry.
Yeah.
And then I think I think both options that you put are very mature, and then he can either accept it or, move on, and maybe one day he will. And if not, then he's a fucking douchebag, and who gives a shit?
Yeah, I think probably the most important thing is you don't owe him an apology. It's pretty unreasonable. People change and grow. I wouldn't go up to an ex and be like, wow, I hear now you're good with money. Well, you dated me when you sucked with money.
Yeah.
Like, you used me. Like, people grow and learn more about themselves, and it doesn't sound like you intentionally entered a relationship with him. Like,
in order to become a lesbian.
in order to become a
which is what using him would have implied.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, lesbians don't use men to be lesbians. That's not how that works.
Yes, a little understanding would go a long way on his part. So it does sound like he's probably just hurt.
Yeah.
Which is understandable because you're probably great. Great. That's actually crazy because I never came out to my college boyfriend. We just broke up because I wasn't attracted to him, which is a sad reason to get broken up with. And I wanted so bad to call him and be like, it's because I wasn't attracted to any guy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so sorry I pinpointed it like that. That must have sucked.
Did you tell him that you weren't attracted to him?
Yeah.
That you said those words to him?
Yeah, well, that's why we broke. I was just like, I don't find myself attracted to you.
How long were you guys together?
That is so
Like a
savage.
year.
Yeah, that
I know.
hurts to be on the other end of that.
I know. Yeah, so I totally understand. But then I was like, I don't know. It was like so long. I didn't come out for like 3 years after that. And then I was like, who wants a cold call 3 years later to be like, I'm not attracted to any man? Click. Would that be helpful? Probably not. Great. Oh, God, I love these questions.
Oh, next round, hands.
Yep.
Hands.
I've been wanting to come out for months now, but every time I try to tell someone, I get choked up to the point where I can't spit it out. Is coming out over text or email okay, or is it better to be done face to face?
I say do what's comfortable for you. I mean, if text is going to be easier for you and you want them to know, do that.
Mm-hmm.
Do it however you want to do it. Is
Yeah.
is what I'll say. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, back when, well, I guess I came out, it was only 4 years ago, but I think if I were younger and text was such a big part of my life and the way that people communicate, I think that it's a valid way to tell people if that makes you feel comfortable. You also don't have to tell everyone at the exact same time.
Yep.
Yeah, you can do it the way that feels right to you. And if you're being, getting choked up, be kind to yourself too. Maybe there's just a reason and a timing that's going to feel right for you, and just because you haven't done it also doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get out of here. Let me call my mom really quick. No. Oh, yeah. I had a friend. Bye. I had a phone, and then it broke. No, I had a friend who was having a lot of trouble coming out specifically to his mom because she was the one that he was really afraid about coming out to. And it really helped him to write everything down and then read it. So you kind of like meet in the middle there, text and email and in person. If you write it out ahead of time and then you're just reading, sometimes that helps.
Yeah.
But I think just what you said of being kind to yourself is really important too. Because a lot of times if you feel like nauseous or like you're crying too much, like you're really hitting something that's been there for a long time or goes really deep. So if you feel super raw about something, one, that probably means that you're pursuing like great growth. Like if it means that much to you, there's a lot at stake. So keep going after it. But
You're the most important person in your come out experience.
exactly, yes.
It's not like you can't control how other people are going to react or the way that they would have preferred to be told. It is 100% about you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And honestly, even if you text or email it, like there's going to be a follow-up conversation. Like you're still going to be talking face to face. So you're really just kind of like, if you need that to like lock you into a face-to-face conversation, like a mass text out and you're like, great, now these people will find me.
I would
and I'll
even
have to do it.
recommend, right, like texting someone or emailing someone if you're nervous about their response. Because then I called someone very close to me to tell them, and I didn't like their answer. And because their answer was like a long pause and a sigh, and it wasn't the immediate acceptance that I needed and wanted to hear, and I'll never forget it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish that I had sent them an email so that they would have time, because they're not homophobic. This person's not homophobic. It was a lot for them to take in at the time.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wish I would have given them the time for them to give me the response that I wanted, if that makes sense.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But also, I think it's really important. We talked about this on the last episode. If you've been in the closet for 10 years, and then you tell someone, doesn't it make sense to give them, I think, get ready to give that person time, especially if it's like a tough person who this news will kind of be like crazy to, like give them time to kind of come to terms with it also.
Right.
But also fuck them if they don't react right away. Also woof woof guard dog. Fuck them. Next question.
Oh, we're interlocking fingers.
We're dating now.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are you gonna hear here?
I've had a lot of fun tonight.
Thank you.
All right, great.
But you can only pick one of us.
I have one rose. I'm asexual. Does it still count as coming out?
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
My face was confused, not having to think about it, but confused by the question itself. Of course, if you feel like it's something you need to come out about, then it's coming out.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought I was missing something in the question
Yeah,
at
same.
first,
I
but
was
not
like-
to say that it was dumb to ask
No, it's
it or
not a
anything.
stupid question,
Yeah.
but it's in my brain. It's like
It seems so
100%.
obvious. Yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
point here is that there's kind of like a mainstream sexuality, and if you fall outside of that, you come out, unfortunately. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, of course you would be coming out as asexual.
It must be so hard as a teen too, because everything that is geared towards you is like sex, prom, sex, drinking, and then we have sex, and even if it is, whatever type of sex that you're having, if you're not feeling that at all, that must be really difficult.
I was, and I know I don't want to conflate asexuality with being in the closet, because I know that there are definitely some people who are asexual. But there was a year before I was able to come out that I was like, no, I'm asexual, because that solved all my problems. I was like, I'm Christian, I'm asexual. Kind of like a lot of the church's response to homosexuality is like, well, you can have the desire, you just can't act on it.
Yeah.
And I had like fully internalized that and was like, great. I don't want to act on it. Like, I am asexual. And after a year of that was like, that's not for me. That could totally be for someone else. But for me personally, I was like, that is going against who I really am.
Not a fit.
Right.
That's not a fit for me. As Sue Gillen once said. Hi, Sue.
Hi, Sue.
We love you. We had a director named Sue Gillen who was perfect.
Aw.
She would always tell us that if you were like the most powerful thing that like a woman or a queer person or any like marginalized person could know is the phrase, "That's not a fit for me," for business situations, because where a lot of us are taught to be like try to be really
Apologetic. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
I'm sorry.
I can't do this. You just say, that doesn't work for me. That's not a fit
That's
for
not
me.
a fit for me.
I love it.
And
love
it's just
that.
short and sweet, and who can argue with that? No,
Right.
that is a fit for you. You're like, whoa. God, I love Sue. All right, final question.
Thank you.
Kiss your own hand too.
Oh, yes.
Self love.
Self-love.
All right, great. That's our time. Thank you for no, I'm just kidding. Our final question. Do you find that internalized homophobia still manifests in your life even years after coming out? Sometimes I find, for example, that when I talk about crushes or dates, I still use an ambiguous they, them to describe them because for so long I was embarrassed to say he or him. I'm conscious of this and try to correct it. It's just unintentional sometimes. Does anything like this ever happen to you?
Oh my God. Yes. Yes. I found it, I was like truly struck by it in a recent like loving relationship with a woman who was truly like identified as bisexual, and her friends would constantly bring up to me that she was bi, like she's really 50-50, and I always found that so inappropriate because it's like, well, we're dating.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't know, and there was always straight women that were doing it to me, and it's like, are they telling me this in my head? And just recently being like, really coming to terms with every sex is different. Every person is different.
Yeah.
Every relationship is different. Like
The gender of
Gender
an
is
ex
different.
or of who you went on a date with doesn't matter.
yes, like it does not matter at all. You and your partner, you and whoever are having the only sex that you two can possibly have.
Yeah.
It is the most unique thing in the world, and that is all.
Yeah.
It's so crazy because it's like the friends are like, well, we expect her to end up with a man. And it's like other people's expectations of what you should be doing that's somehow getting in your relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I
it doesn't make any sense.
That's really interesting. I love this topic, especially because all exes are going to be a nightmare. Like, kind of regardless of the gender, you're like, it is hard to put your mind, like, unless you're fully healed and a very healthy person, but
Which none of us are.
Which no one is. We're all on the track.
No one wants to think that they're not the one that their partner wanted.
Right.
Yeah, totally. Right. Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I wonder, in business situations, do you guys come out?
Oh, I was actually thinking about this. So I have a business and I take photos of people, and to make them feel comfortable, I feel with women, I feel like I have a cup that says "No one knows I'm gay," and it's a big gay cup, and I always put it out just to be like, I want to make it comfortable for everyone, just in case, like, because photographers can be creepy sometimes.
Oh,
and
wow.
like I was talking to my friend about this last night. It's like with women, I'm very vocal about me being gay, just so that, you know, maybe it will help them feel comfortable. But then I told that to another friend, and my other friend was like, you shouldn't have to do that because it's just business, and like you should be good no matter what.
Yeah.
With men and like straight men, I
Hide the cup.
I don't hide it. I just don't make it as noticeable because I just don't know who I'm going to be meeting. And I guess that's something I struggle with. I struggle with when I can say it and when I can't. And it's not that there's a can or can't. I'm still figuring out some of my like coming out journey still. Even with my parents, they love me to death and I love them and we're so close, but we don't talk about me being gay still.
Wow, yeah.
But like I know they love me, and if they didn't, I wouldn't have such a close relationship with them. But I think for them, it's that thing of like they still need their time. Going back to what we were talking about, they still need their time to like accept it, and until they want to talk about it with me, I'm not gonna like force it upon them because I love them, and I don't think they don't love me because I'm gay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
So, but yeah, it's just interesting.
Yeah, and I like that. Sometimes I get worried about myself, about where I come out, and if it's like benefiting me. Sometimes I
Right.
might feel a little bit guilty, but I'm like, no, I think it's fine. To have to repeatedly come out over and over again to the world is so exhausting.
Yeah.
And so then I think when it's like beneficial, like finally a breath of fresh air, like this is
Right.
like it's good in conversation. Like,
Yeah.
great. This is a positive. Yeah.
And more, I think businesses are looking at it as a plus.
Yeah, thank God. Like
Yeah.
it's the future.
It really is. Like, if people want a more diverse workspace, people want different perspectives because it's healthier for our business to grow.
Yeah.
Like, I would say at this point, not that I could ever hide it, but
I think you could.
I like almost lead with like, and I'm gay.
Yeah,
like
totally.
when I walk in a room, because also that's the way that things have opened. That's the way that I've gotten opportunities.
Yeah.
It's just to be like, I'm a proud gay. If you need a proud gay for anything, I'm here. And for some reason, like, there is a market for proud gays. Y'all.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. I feel like young people, which are the future, are so like gender fluid,
Yeah.
Yes.
openly gay. Like, oh God, how promising.
It's very
I love
exciting.
that.
It's so
Yeah.
exciting to see like my young cousin's Instagram who's like 11, and I'm like, what? Those are all your friends? Like, they,
Yeah. It
Hell
feels
yeah.
good too to be like an older person who isn't like, oh, these kids, you know. I'm like, oh, I
Exactly.
really like them more and I wish I was in high school with them.
I
And
think
Yeah.
that's
that would be
important.
a much better.
Yeah, it's like a way better attitude. I think someone was talking about, like, I just don't want to become like a bitter person who's like, I did my time and I had
Yeah.
to scoot out of the closet
Right.
at 24.
No,
and
we're
you're,
here
you
to
know,
we're here to protect that generation. That's our
exactly.
age group, is like, because we didn't have it as hard as like the whole generation
Stone Butch
that died of
Blues
AIDS,
and fucking
right?
yeah.
But
Yeah.
we did have to come out. We did have a hard time with our parents. We did have a hard time with God. Like,
pronouns are a nightmare.
pronouns are a nightmare. Yeah, because you still have that 90s kid in you that's like, I don't want to ask for anything. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like everything feels very hard, but also we get to be so excited from like for those kids, and we get to like I feel like we are like the bastion that like protects them, so they get to be as queer as they want.
Totally.
Yes.
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 Ugh.
I love that.
I do too.
I love that so much.
Oh, if you're out there and you're young, good for you. We just sound 80 all of a sudden. Oh, you can still walk. Oh,
It
run.
must be nice walking without having to come out.
Great. Well, that is all the time we have for this episode. Thank you so much to our three amazing guests. Find them online, reach out to them, Venmo them. And thank you for tuning in. And if you're not on Dropout yet, hop on, because there's also the Discord. You can be in a chat room with Jess and I. And maybe we'll be sitting next to you guys and you can chime in as well. Yeah, zoom in on that, baby.
She's gay.
Thank you so much. Until next time. Hey, what's up? It's Allie from College Humor. Click here to subscribe. Click here to see some more cool stuff. And if you want to see a hot babe in the city, click here. I made that. This is what I like.